Hi everybody, this is just another quick video I want to do for Unit 3's project. This one has two parts, it's multi-part. The first part will be in Lesson 12 and the other part will be in Lesson 14. And so make sure you do both parts here, okay? Now this one, you guys, requires a deck of cards to do. I know some of you may not have those deck of cards. If this is the case, please email me. I'm in the process of trying to find alternative labs for some of these. Just for those of you that may not have the funds to do that. However, if you go to Walmart, you can get a deck of cards really cheap. So, I mean, it's up to you guys. But again, if you do not have a deck of cards, please email me, get a hold of me, and I will send you the alternative lab for this project that you can do instead. Okay? So for this first part, lesson 12, this one is with the deck of cards. Let me kind of just quickly go over what this kind of looks like here. It does have basic instructions. Oops, sorry. Just go back here. Video 3, walk through. Let me do it. Sorry, guys. I guess I'll just go back to modules. I have it saved right here. Here we are. Get rid of that. Okay. So for this first part, it's going to talk about random sampling, sample sizes, and that kind of thing. This is a really important skill to learn, and I love that it's having you do this here, because in science, this is very, very important, not just in ecology and in environmental science. This is in any science. The larger the sample size, the better, okay? And there's a big thing between precision and accuracy and all that kind of thing that we could go into. Don't worry about that too much. The biggest thing is that, I mean, if you could leave this with one big idea, it's that the bigger the sample size, the more accurate our data is, and the more close our data is to each other, the more statistically significant it is as well. Okay, and so this lab kind of will go through this. You kind of will have to place these cards. It gives you the procedures right here. So organize the cards based on their suit, and then put them into ascending order, so 1 to 13. And you'll just put them in there. And then it kind of, the instructions are really clear here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because of how clear it is. Okay. But again, this first part is on sample size and sample analysis. Okay. The second part of this lab is a little different. You'll need to go to the grocery store, go with your parents when they go shopping. I've even had some students, they'll just get on Walmart, because the Walmart shopping app, and look it up that way too. Whatever you want to do here to get this done, because I know that once you guys get started, you kind of just want to get going and get this sucker done, so I don't blame you there. Basically what you have to do when you go into the supermarket online or in real life is you have to just take some notes and look at some different plants, okay, in the produce section. What it talks about right here, and I actually didn't know this, but broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts are all members of the same species. I did not know that. That was a new thing for me when I first started teaching this class. But they are represented in different varieties, okay? And so, such as the roots of plants, such as potatoes, anyways, all these are similar species, which is, I think, is really cool. So what you could do is when you're in there, you just need to go to the grocery store. You need to take notes based on what you observe in variety of plants. And then when you come home, you need to research one of those species or one of those plant types. So let's say, for example, you are fascinated with the carrot. You would come back and you could do research on the carrot. Okay. And it says right here, find the genus and species name of the plant and provide some history of the plant's origin and domestication. This is really important, you guys, because this is actually a big topic lately with GMOs, genetically modified organisms, and gene therapy. Um, humans in science, we are actually manipulating, genetically modifying, and engineering different produce to help us support the bigger population size that we have today on Earth. Okay, and so this is kind of interesting in that we can look and see how have humans artificially um, selected for certain traits in these uh, crops. Okay, let me give you one example. A strawberry, a wild strawberry, if you've ever seen a wild strawberry, are super small. They're very, very small. Um, but the ones you buy at the grocery store are massive. And that's because of genetic modification. And what we've done is we've actually made it so that plants have their octoploidy is what we call it. Basically, they have 8 times the DNA inside of them, which has caused them to get a lot bigger. We can't do that with animal cells, but we can do that with plant cells because of their cell wall makes them really strong to those kind of situations. So, corn's another example of how humans have domesticated a crop. Corn, before, it came from a plant called teosinte. It was actually really, really hard and small. They had to crush it, and it was really, really hard. Okay, so they had to kind of what they hypothesized they did is they actually popped the corn, the teosinte kernels, and made popcorn, and that's how they kind of ate it because it was so hard. I mean, you'd have to crush it with stone to even get anything out of it, and even then, wasn't very much. And so what they did is they popped it, but slowly through time, humans have selectively bred that teosinte plant into the corn that we have today, where the kernels are now soft, they're orange and gold, and very, very juicy and yummy. I love corn. So that's another example. You could get on the internet and look at all sorts of stuff of how we've genetically altered some crop. Another one would be golden. It's very controversial right now, the golden rice. But basically, this has vitamin A in it, I believe. I want to make sure I'm not teaching something wrong. Yeah, vitamin A. So this has vitamin A in it, which is actually a very important vitamin that we need. Us here in America, we get this quite often in our produce that we eat, our leafy greens and stuff. But some people in other parts of the world they're vitamin A deficient, and it'll actually cause blindness. And so what they've done is they've actually genetically modified rice to carry this vitamin A. And so what they've done is they've put a gene inside of their DNA to make so that the golden rice now can produce vitamin A inside of it. And it is a golden color, and a lot of people are against it because a lot of people are against genetically modifying things. Yet they on the science side, we see how beneficial they can be as well. Okay, so all the produce that you're going to see in the store has been modified in some way by humans. And so talk about that. And I will be looking for that kind of thing. Big part of it is domestication. Okay. All right. You guys have fun. I really think this one's a good one. And hopefully, as you're researching, you can find some really important stuff about the things we eat every day.